It's Tuesday, and that means it's time now for our weekly Hot Jobs Report, brought to you by Workforce Solutions of the Coastal Bend. Michael Gibson has this week's report.
First up in Alice, where there's an opening for a utility maintenance operator. The job description includes performing routine maintenance on hydro cleaner and vacuum truck, tools and equipment. A Class B commercial driver's license is required. Pay ranges from $14 to $17 depending on experience. Here in Corpus Christi, a trainee position is open for a correctional officer. Successful applicants will serve as cadet correctional officers throughout training. The completion of academy and field training is required, along with a law enforcement civil service exam. Pay starts at just under $14 per hour, plus benefits. A mechanic's position is also open in Corpus Christi. Pay starts out at just below $15 an hour with benefits. Job duties including making repairs and performing preventative maintenance on equipment and computerized components of vehicles. Over in Aransas Pass, there's an opening for a concrete foreman. The position requires supervising and overseeing construction crews. At least 5 years of experience is required. Pay ranges between $28 and $30 an hour. And finally, in Ingleside, a painter is needed with at least 4 years of prior experience. A successful candidate will be asked to work independently on projects that will ensure the company's goals are met effectively and economically as possible. Pay begins at $21 an hour. To learn more about these jobs and others, contact Workforce Solutions of the Coastal Bend at 888-860-JOBS or visit workintexas.com.